Hello, welcome to this Crypto Professor analysis video of Crypto.com coin, or CRO. Crypto.com, if you're not familiar, is a one-stop shop for the mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies. They have a very easy to use exchange and app service where people can just buy and sell cryptocurrencies at true cost with no fees and no markups. It's a very easy, intuitive system to utilize, and the app is very easy to use. They also have a market-leading Visa card, which actually enables you to spend crypto and fiat currency with merchants such as any shops, grocery shopping, fuel, etc., which is extremely good. You also get 8% interest back on that when you spend, or 8% cash back when you spend on the Visa cards. They have an earn feature, so if you want to deposit stablecoins or even cryptocurrency, you can, and earn fairly attractive rates on your cryptocurrency without having to do any trading. And they have a credit feature as well. They do add new features from time to time, and they are one of the hottest developments this year in terms of mainstream cryptocurrency adoption. Crypto.com coin, or CRO, is their utility token. It enables you to get a higher tier on the cards. It enables you to get other certain perks within the system. And you could also pay different people using the CRO app. So you can also buy gift cards as well using CRO. So effectively, it's almost equivalent to Ripple, but within a centralized environment, basically. Okay. The Crypto.com coin has had quite a year so far this year. It rose to a maximum market cap around 3.6 billion, which was around about 1% of the entire market cap of cryptocurrencies back in the summer or early September this year. Currently, it's had a little bit of a sell-off. It's down about to 1.5 billion, and that's for a number of fundamental reasons that I'll explain later in this video. But essentially, it is doing what it should be doing in terms of normal market movements. It's just that people who hold CRO tend to overreact a little bit and think that this token should go up exponentially forever. But hope to show you in this video that these are actual normal market movements and healthy behavior from the Crypto.com token. So let's first of all look at a long-term chart and a potential price that is long-term focused. So we can see here around about nothing happened during this period. We had some oscillations, we had some spikes, but in the grand scheme of things, nothing really took hold. In March this year, following that plummet in Bitcoin that happened, well, in every cryptocurrency, in every market, in fact, around the world due to coronavirus scares, we did start to see traction in Crypto.com coin all the way until September. So when that market cap peaked. Now in September, they started to make a few announcements, a few changes. They cut the interest rate on the CRO token from 18% down to 6%, and then moved it back up to stakeholders who stake the coin for their Visa cards to 12% if you own 100,000 CRO. 100,000 CRO for most of the summer has been around about $12,000 to $15,000. So it has been quite high in terms of an investment for people who genuinely do believe in the long-term potential of Crypto.com itself. Now, a lot of whales exited CDC, as it's known, over that period, and we saw people just liquidate their investment portfolios in terms of getting that interest rate. So there were a couple of people who had 15 million CRO, for example, and were very used to earning 18% on it. And then when they cut the interest rate down to 6%, obviously that capital could be better deployed elsewhere, so people moved their capital. It's a very healthy reaction from the markets, just because when there's better opportunities, people do look for those better opportunities. And obviously Bitcoin being in the lead over the past couple of weeks, people have been trading in and out of Bitcoin much more feverishly than perhaps they have for the entire year, where it's been fairly flat and fairly non-volatile. But that's what I want to say on the fundamental analysis at the moment. I'm going to focus on the technical analysis and what the charts are telling us, without kind of looking at the news stories behind what actually might be going on with the price structure, because those news stories are temporary. I fully believe that the CDC environment and CDC products is going to be here for the long haul, and I want to give you a little bit of analysis about the technical analysis behind the price structure at the moment. So you'll see on this fib we've actually drawn here, we are now approaching kind of the perfect place to start a long entry. We've had a perfectly natural recovery down from this spike here, which is where another exchange decided to go and buy 1.5 billion CRO tokens. We actually had a spike all the way up to $0.19 on that day. Then if we move it slightly lower, we can see that the ultimate price is kind of in the middle of the $0.05 region, which we should correct to over the course of the next couple of weeks. We may dip a little bit lower than that, but I wouldn't be expecting any more significant than maybe 0.5 to be broken. That there will coalesce, and we should stay around there for a little while before moving ultimately up towards the $0.3 region or 30-cent dollar region over the long term. That's probably going to be around about the summer 2021. So we'll see a nice capitulation here. Interestingly, if we actually look at another mode of technical analysis called Elliott wave analysis, we will see that the market has actually been through 2 cycles of Elliott wave since its inception. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which completes one impulse pattern, and then an ABC for correction over a very long period from March 2019 all the way through to December 2019. Then, starting in January 2020, we had a wave 1, a nice corrective wave 2 pullback, which coincided with that drop in Bitcoin that we saw in March due to the coronavirus scares, and then a huge wave 3, which lasted from March all the way up until September this year. Right now, we're doing a corrective wave 4 pattern, which if you zoom in, you can actually see 1, 2, 3. We're probably somewhere on the region of 3 right now. We'll probably do a recovery back up to around about 10 cents in US dollar terms before having a mini impulse back down towards 0.05 US dollars. And then a wave 5, which should capitulate and raises above the 0.19 price tag that we saw back in August this year to stop somewhere in the region of 28 cents to 29 cents. That's all being well and good and matches the fib levels that we've seen previously here. Okay, we may get a brief pause around the 0.22, 0.23 region as the market decides to take some profits there. The good thing about the CRO token is that you stake the CRO token in order to get the benefits. At the moment, the stakes are 2,500 for the bottom tier, 25,000 for the middle tier, 250,000 for the mid to high tier, and 2.5 million CRO for the top tier, and those are staked for 6-month periods at a time. So there is a lot of volume taken out the market when these are actually traded. If we look at the RSI as well at the moment, we are very, very, very much oversold. That RSI hasn't got very much room to maneuver to the downside, but on a smaller time frame, we still do have quite a lot of capitulation to do here. You notice that the price is actually trending underneath this moving average, which is the 50-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is also acting as resistance as well. So we do have a lot of resistance to bullish sentiment here, and the bears are definitely in control. Even on a 1-hour chart, you'll see that we're bordering on oversold territory here quite significantly, and if we decide to climb any further, that will then increase the chances of seeing another sell-off back to those levels. So at the moment, the overall look is bearish for the coin, but I'm focusing on the long-term turnaround here and the long-term adoption and the fundamentals, which I do discuss in a separate video. Let's now look at something that we haven't looked at before, which is the volume behind the token. This is a metric that I'm looking at called the on-balance volume. And this describes the amount of volume going through the market at any particular point. What you'll notice is even though the price has capitulated back down to this red line here, which is actually a long-term level of resistance or support, depending on which line you're on, we're now using it as support. You'll notice that the amount of volume, even though the price is the same as it was back in May, around about 7 cents, there's only around about 90 to 100 million dollars of volume going through there at that price. However, right now, at the same level of price, there is around about 4 times that, around about $400 million going through the market. So the market has actually increased by a value of 4 times, even though the price has recovered back to its previous level that was seen in May. Now that's a very bullish tendency, because that means there are 4 times the amount of people or 4 times the amount of trade volume going through the market, and therefore any capitulation in the direction of the bullish tendency will be supported by a lot of people who are willing to hold for this movement back up here, basically, because there'll be a lot of people who purchase their CRO around this price who won't decide to sell until they are in profit. The more people that buy down here, the more vigor we will have on the corrective path all the way up. So this is a very, very bullish sign. I'm also going to look at the MACD as well, because that also tells us an interesting picture. If you notice on 2 of these charts, we have these 200-day and 50-day EMA crossovers that are happening at the moment. That is a bearish signal, which is why in the short term I am quite bearish on CRO temporarily. I think between now and Christmas we should see it correct down to the 0.05 US dollar level that I have previously mentioned. But we have this bullish indicator, and we also have this bullish indicator, which is the MACD level on a day chart, so very powerful chart, crossing over at the extreme down here. You'll notice that last time this happened was back in March 2020, and then we had this huge rally all the way up to 20 cents effectively, or 19 cents, all the way from 3. So this, the lower this is and the more extreme this is, the more dramatic the ensuing price rise should be in a normal market. Now obviously we've had the dynamics with Bitcoin recently all over the place. We've had Bitcoin climb and threaten to breach up towards 16,000 and 19,000 even, and chase its all-time high. Now that can have an effect on altcoins, and that can have an extreme effect on the price of any coin that is compared to Bitcoin. So we might not see that happen for a little while, but given the fundamental adoption of CRO, they now have over 5 million customers throughout the world, and the continuation of staking requirements with the CDC coin, Crypto.com coin, I'm very, very confident that within 12 to 18 months, we should see a nice capitulation up towards the 30 cent or perhaps even higher region for the Crypto.com coin based on these technical analysis at the moment. That concludes my analysis of the Crypto.com coin. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to get $25 of CRO completely for free, please sign up to Crypto.com using our referral link in the description on this video. We also get $25 of CRO to keep this channel operating. If you'd like to try a card without any risk, opt for the Midnight Blue card, which is a plastic card which will arrive probably within about a month of you applying for it. But it does give you 1% back in CRO rewards without you having to stake any CRO in order to get the card. Obviously, they do offer other tiers, like Ruby Steel, which is the metal card, and Jade Green, all the way up to the highest tier, which is the Obsidian, which does offer a huge amount of cashback, 8% back, but obviously requires 2.5 million CRO. The Crypto Professor likes feedback. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it. If you'd like more of the same, please don't forget to subscribe. Or if you have questions, please post them in the comments and I'll endeavour to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.